Can you hear us, Jim?
Yep, I can hear you now. Sorry.
You got it, Chair.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, perfect.
All right, so I'd like to call the Montgomery County Industrial Development Agency meeting to order. Oh, you go through minutes. We'll do, all right, so we'll do minutes first. Oh, stand for the pledge, sorry, it's been a little while. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Now we'll go to the minutes. They were in the packet from the meeting on July 14th. Give everybody a minute to review those. Anybody notice anything that needs to be changed in the minutes? No. We get a motion to approve the minutes. A second. Thank you. All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? All right. We're gonna skip to unfinished business now since we have a guest. And we're gonna talk to Jim about our targeted industry marketing strategy. So I'll turn it over to you.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah, anything else that on your end before I start that has to be teed up, or am I good to just jump in and give you the update?
Yeah, just an update. We want to inform the board kind of what you've been working on, the work you've completed up to this point, and then kind of, the remaining phases as well.
Oh, good. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure because I wanted to make good use of your time. And I appreciate you guys putting me early in the agenda. And thanks for making the time. Yeah, so just real quickly, I think I've met many of you, if not all, from different interviews or discussions. But my name is Jim Demesis. I'm the Senior Vice President of Camoin Associates. And we've been working now for over a year on helping with narrow down, originally doing a lot of analysis to get to the understanding of your economic base, to be able to narrow down to targeted industries, and then all with the eye towards developing and then implementing a marketing plan for attraction. When I say for attraction, there's quite a bit of work that it helps, and it helps whether you're trying to serve companies that already exist, either stay there, expand, or get the workforce they need, because there was a lot of data analytics. So I'll be really brief about what we did, and then I'll just give an overview of where we're at today and where you're going next, and then take any kind of questions or comments too. But just as a reminder, so when we started this out, and you guys had a very clear request for proposals, so you really laid out the scope of what you wanted, which made our work plan very easy to produce. But we did everything from looking at all kinds of data about the local and the regional economies and how they fit within New York and the greater Northeast region. I call that the economic base analysis. We did a survey of primarily focused on businesses, but also stakeholders as well. And that gave us a lot of good information about what the biggest concerns are or what the biggest trends are, those kinds of things. We did interviews, and a lot of this was in the heart of COVID. So all of this was virtual. And most of those were one-on-one, but there were group ones as well. And those were covering all of your key industry sectors, as well as like things like workforce and stuff like that. We found them to be very, very helpful, and people were phenomenal at spending time with us and really opening up about the county and the region. From all of that, we produced a SWOT around like your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities and threats. And all of that then served as a framework for taking a deeper dive into your industry sectors. So then we went to do more data analytics around the industry sectors. And then with that, and that's where we did it like a check-in at that point. And the group that some of you were there, but was very helpful at pushing us, and particularly pushing me to go more into emerging trends and thinking about what the future would bring. So we spent some time going deeper into those. We looked at things like supply chain. We looked around some of the emerging trends. We looked at top occupations. And then we also looked at connections between the different industries. That led to a report that has all of those targeted industries profiled and talking about what the opportunities going forward are. And I want to be clear, it was meant to be objective, so it points out where there's areas that are like concerns and challenges going forward, and then it tries to target down to the opportunities to focus on for each of them. And whether or not you then market them as your primary targeted industries, and do some of the marketing campaign, that's useful for you because you're serving all of those industries, all of those companies. So it was meant to both help you overall with your industries, but then get down to target it. And that's when we got down to, and you all deliberated on it and came up with 3 targets to launch a marketing campaign for. And again, to start with, and you can always do more over time. And those industries were food, transportation, and advanced manufacturing. No major surprises there, with just a couple of nuances. You made it clear to us, and also around the kinds of information you wanted for marketing and research, that around the transportation, you're getting plenty of demand for that, but you also wanted it to be able to help you think about like the higher end part of transportation and logistics, like what's next in supply chains, how it connects to other industries like advanced manufacturing, and how it also utilizes like advanced logistics and information and intelligence. And then, so it covered the broad range of advanced manufacturing as well, and that was the second industry. In terms of the connection to logistics. Advanced covered everything from your, we combined in that particular case, obviously the things around technology and semiconductors and anything related to electronics, but also like the advanced manufacturing from like the machinery and metals side, which is so critical. Like sometimes it's in the past was called like precision manufacturing. So that was broad enough to cover those. And then food covered everything from like thinking about the food manufacturing side, getting product to market. Overall, and I'm going to try to not be long-winded, there was a couple of keys that were really cut across all of your future opportunities. And there's way more nuances in the report. However, and again, you kind of don't need a consultant to tell you this, but objectively, I want to tell you, the logistics are phenomenal, like in terms of access to major markets. When you look at like a global structure, not just Albany, not just within the state of New York City to Philadelphia to Boston to the East Coast markets as well. And that's besides the fact that there's companies there that are global as well, with access to ports and things like that. And then secondly, the workforce base is really geared towards what I would call middle skill jobs. And I don't mean that in a negative sense. I actually mean it in today's world. That's a really big asset. The ability to design, make, and move things is so hard to find that core talent. And again, you have more than that, but I just wanted to highlight what was really standing out, like both in terms of your assets around your community colleges and your higher ed, but also your occupations and your industries. So those kind of cut across everything. So from that, and then I want to be really clear, I'm here representing the company today, but this was like a broad effort of different talent and staff. And in particular, like around the marketing strategy, some of you may know Krista Franze. She led that effort, working with Rob Camoin on tying it into business attraction and those kinds of things. But I'm here today, so I was involved throughout the entire project, particularly around the research design. And then we also had a local or in-state marketing firm help with creating some of the marketing tactics, and that was Spiral Design as well. So I just want to recognize that there was plenty of other people involved. So the marketing plan was developed to say, hey, what's needed to go ahead and market these industries? You have that. And then some of the tactics were already created as well. Some of which we prepared for you, which were cut sheets, if you will, around those three industries, which had the critical making the case for the county regarding those industries. And I think, if I'm correct, Vinny, this week, I just saw you back and forth with an email. I think you were signing off on some of the final edits to those as well. So I think those are either complete or very, very close to complete.
Yeah, we completed on this week with the final edit, so we'll be finding those up soon.
And then this all ties into the fact that you're doing an update to your website, which is both incorporating some of the guidance that we gave, because no matter what you do for marketing, your website is like your home base, if you will. It's your critical infrastructure for marketing. And so that information was provided to and helped guide your website team, basically, which is also creating pages specifically in a section specifically for targeted attraction. And then finally, going forward, once that's up and running, we already have a monitoring of your website for who's visiting and what kinds of companies are hitting. But that'll get better as you therefore launch your new website. So we have a tool called Prospect Engage, which basically goes on the back end of the website. And as traffic comes to the site, it's not just Google Analytics that says, gee, who's coming and where geographically they might be. But for a certain percentage of the traffic, we're able to find out if they're from a company and then what industry they're in, whether they're within one of your targets, and then information about that company. So that'll be an important tool as you go to launch your full marketing campaign with your new website. And that tool is there for you to continue to use, and you can monitor that real time, essentially. And then finally, Camoin has additional money set aside as per the budget and the contract to be able to help with the implementation of some of the multi-channel marketing, basically. Things like email campaigns, targeting some of those specific industries, that kind of work, which is outlined in the marketing plan. And that's in the category of whatever you need to make sure that you're implementing and keeping it going from technical services. So that's a lot. I knew I threw a lot at you. Let me stop there if there's any questions, or also, Vinny, if you think I missed anything, please highlight that.
No, I think you did a good job covering kind of everything up until this point. Does anyone have any questions for Jim?
No, I think it was good to be involved with it. I was really impressed.
Yeah, no, we appreciate it, Jim. Thanks for coming on and dedicating some time to us. And yeah, we'll be in touch soon.
Yeah. No, and I'm glad I was going to be here. Krista would have also been on, but she's on vacation this week, and apparently that's an important thing to allow employees to have vacation time. But again, I want to stress, whether it's me, Krista, or even Rob, like, you can reach out anytime for anything too. And that not just while we're under contract, but at any point. So you all have a good rest of the meeting, and thanks so much for the time.
Thanks, Jim. We really appreciate it.
Take care.
All right. So we'll go back up in the agenda to communications. I don't think there's any. There's no public comment. I don't think there's anyone.
No.
There's no chair's report, a director's report.
Yeah, just a couple of quick items, and Jim alluded to it. Engines of Creation is starting to work on revamping our whole website, so we should be getting some mock-ups of that relatively shortly here, probably over the next month and stuff. We'll keep sharing that progress with you, but they're anticipating probably a little bit quicker than we thought. I think within 6 months, we'll have the whole new website. relaunched.
with a Dan Labat up there?
Yeah, Dan and his staff, so, City of Amsterdam, obviously, company, so we stayed, and they've worked with us in the past. They continue to do our existing maintenance on our existing website, so that's why we stuck with them. Just to let you know too, the county land closing in the Glen Park, where the shared service facility is, I just gotta sign a couple of papers and they'll be going to escrow and closing on that, so. We'll be getting into the county's hands. Obviously, we sold that for 140. That deduction will come off of what we owe the county. In addition to the money that we've already allocated them to the existing land sales. The Dame Logistics project in the back, we are working with the Prime AE. They are doing the subdivision for us now, so they'll be going to the town of planning board, and once that approval is done, we have all the documents in place for that too. We'll be able to close on that transaction, so hopefully we'll be able to get both these transactions wrapped up before the end of the year, so it'll reflect on our books. Which is good during the audit time. And then I know Joe did reach out to us earlier this week. He is going to have some answers for us. Carol, you'll like this on MC3.
Okay.
So shortly we should be getting a path forward with regards to MC3 and those dollars that are right now they're encumbered,
So
obviously.
we resolved whatever issue it was that we didn't know how to fix.
Hopefully
We're on the way to that. And Joe did make a joke that the two lawyers before the current partners working on it left the firm, that he was joking that
So
So,
it's obviously a substantial amount of money.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's encumbered, so hopefully we'll get to the end of that tunnel soon. That's all I have.
All right, awesome. Thank you, Ken. Financial report, Sheila.
Yes. So included in your packet was the revolving loan fund report. The financials I just printed out for you tonight. So there's nothing unusual to report on the financials. Activities are a bit slow over the summer. There's just a few transactions there on the last page. That was the motion for approval.
Any questions on the financial report first? If not, can I have a motion to accept it? Thank you. Second, Carol. We don't need a roll call on this, right? All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Okay. And how about any questions for Sheila or the team on the revolving loan fund?
I'd like to just point out just a couple of things that we talked about in the past. Number one, we did send a default letter asking, a demand letter asking for full payment. That due date, which was the 90 days that you requested at the last meeting, that comes due on October 19th. I've had no communication with them since that letter. They knew it was coming. We talked to them shortly after the attorney drew up the letter. He wanted to make partial payments. We told him at that time, they really couldn't. So we demanded in full. So we're waiting to hear from them. Because we want to contact the Chuck, not that I'm aware of. And I believe Chuck would call. Number 6. I spoke to her. I had an email communications with her. I know I told you that the last time we met back in June or July, that she was having issues with her online banking. However, she kind of reiterated that she was going to send another payment immediately, and that she would be 100% caught up by the end of the year. She feels that the fourth quarter is her money making quarter, and that she'll be able to be caught up by then.
We can't wait till Christmas.
So just to know, this email communication was last Thursday where she said she would make another payment, and I didn't respond yet.
That's the business is handling that.
She's communicated with me, we did the semi-annual, site visit review, she sent me the documentation. I haven't actually been out there to visit, but I was there a few months ago. Everything's there, still has tons of inventory. I know they have a big weekend this weekend, we were talking about earlier with the street fair.
Seasonally driven business.
It is, it is.
So I think, Brett, we do hear your concerns, we echo your concerns as well, so we kind of discussed internally with staff that maybe we wait until November, December to see what happens with this, but if it continues to be that many months behind, then we will take action.
How long has she had this loan since?
17.
Okay. Everything was good up until recently?
Yeah, yeah, up until very recently, it's been not an issue at all.
It was driven by COVID and everything else the past 2 years.
Yeah.
Amazon,
Yeah.
people going out, not shopping. That's what
She did mention COVID as one of the issues and one of the communications we had.
When we go for the best thing.
And on a positive note, number two, we spoke of earlier, Carolina Club.
Yeah.
They emailed me, he wanted to come at last month's meeting, of course, we didn't have one, but he did want to come to give his final payment and just tell the board that, he appreciated everything we've done for him.
Oh, great.
I don't know what his plan is. I haven't done privy to that yet, but
Yeah.
I don't know if he's staying or not.
I'm just glad that everything worked out with the
Yeah.
refinancing, probably getting that lower payment, and he was able to pay it off. I mean, it worked out really well for both parties. I know the money my wife spends at her shop, she should be able to pay the I need to build a pole barn pretty soon.
Anybody has any questions on any of the other ones?
Any other questions for Sheila on any of on the revolving
I know everything's going real well on number 9, right, Sheila? And in fact, the expanding from what I can see.
Yeah, I was out to meet with him, a few weeks ago. He did have a little bit of concern, with the dry cleaning, portion of the business. Just that it wasn't back up, since, pre-COVID. But other than that, I mean, he seemed to be doing well. He has intent to expand a little bit more. He's got some room in that building to expand, so.
He said he really appreciates Vinny. Vinny's his number one customer.
Yeah, I might have to go back to all of them.
No, we really haven't. We've sent a couple, I can tell you, we did send a couple of loan applications out this summer.
Okay.
But we really haven't had any of that. I mean, we're working on a couple
How
of
we getting the
projects
word
that are
out
looking
there?
for
How we
IDA
get-
assistance.
How are we getting the word out there that the money's here?
We can push it. We've done it in the past. We've kind of targeted through social media and just sent out to our listserv to
Right.
companies in the county that we have this money's available. I mean, there's a substantial amount that is available to lend out right now.
Okay.
But yeah, we can definitely do that again.
The Town of Amsterdam's planning board agenda every month has 6 or 7 items.
I know.
Small business, big business, apartment complexes, big and small.
Yeah, and on that note, one of those projects, we did send out an IDA application
There's
for.
a 28 unit senior housing complex, 168 apartment complex.
Yep.
Net zero, there's all kinds of stuff coming in.
Yeah, so
They're
one-
going to banks and everywhere else, and a lot of these are good projects that we can be tapping into.
yeah, we will. There's probably going to be a couple of them that we are gonna. We will be coming back to the IDA board probably within a couple months with regards to start processing
Not to
applications.
take the money away from the bankers, but I'd like to see it come our way.
Well, we're also too, we gotta keep in mind that we are, with our loan program itself, we're a lender of last resort.
Yeah.
So they have to be denied by
So
2
they can get
different
it.
banks.
They can get it from a bank.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
and our rates are, I mean, our rates are comparable to bank rates. I mean, we're closing around prime. So, and obviously that's been going up recently too.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
Yeah, we do get calls. I mean, I think we heard Carl today.
Yeah.
There's a lot of inquiry about it, and then they see, what actually makes it to the finish line in terms of But I mean, we send out the application probably weekly to people who are calling, so, yeah.
I think, they don't realize that, I mean, we require a lot of the same stuff that a commercial lender does.
Exactly.
You know, what I mean, and they see,
Think it's a grant, not a loan.
yeah,
Exactly.
yep, so.
Perfect. Any other questions? All right, marketing report.
Yeah, before I get into that, Chair, I just want to mention, we haven't talked about it in a while. We are working through the lease agreement with the cell tower in the Florida Business
Okay.
Park. So we did receive a payment. We actually received a full year's payment that started this year. But we're going back and forth with them with regards to what's been back due. So that's where we are. So we did receive a payment, but it hasn't been reflected in your financial.
Okay.
Because we haven't
I was just gonna
deposited yet.
ask.
We want to
Alright.
make sure that they actually signed the lease agreement before we deposit that, and that's all taken care of. So that's where we're at.
And we're still working on the back.
We're working on the back. We
Okay.
got their, I mean, we got their payment for this year, but that's, you know, what's going on.
Yeah.
We want the back.
Yep.
Payment that's been due for a year.
That's the one on the water tower?
Nope, no, the water tower, we don't own. Our town of Florida owns that. There's a cell tower right by the water tower. We own that now, so that's ours. So marketing software, we did send you guys out the actual, we've met and had Zoom conference calls with these guys a couple of different times. The second time we actually had the Empire Solutions on the call, and they were able to ask their question, and I hope you guys did get a chance to look at this, the software and everything, and so we think that this could be very advantageous with regards to backing up our marketing strategy, with regards to retention and potential other opportunities for attraction. It's a good chunk of change, but I can tell you that when you guys see the budget for next year, we're gonna cut some other expenses that we've had over the past couple of years here with the agency, so this will be a wash as far as our budget goes going into 2023. So if there was any concerns on that, but I think it's well worthwhile. We can use it in a variety of different areas, not only for business attraction and retention on our end, but we can also use it as the county's taking more of an active role in tourism. It's a lot of information that we have there with regards to visitors and stuff that'll help us target different geographic areas of the state where visitors are actually coming to the county, so it's gonna help on the tourism as well. So.
Good.
I think that's it on that one. That would just be a resolution, sure.
Great, and that's in the packet, so.
Correct.
Any questions about marketing? Great, we'll go to unfinished business.
We gotta do the resolution.
We gotta do that, we're gonna do that, or do you want to do the,
Yeah, I got it.
Oh, this is the one.
Software, yep.
All right.
So it's a resolution right after the bottom one. Fund. So it's this one.
So it's the 21.
21.
2218?
18.
All right, so the next piece of business is the resolution 2218. And this is the resolution authorizing the entering of the Montgomery County IDA into an agreement for professional services and marketing software. I think we've had a good overview on this. Does anyone else, is there any other questions on this?
No, I think we've talked about it in the past. I have no questions, Chair.
And again, it's for up to 25,000 for 1 year.
For 1 year. Yeah, we're not committed to any longer than that. So. And we'll obviously let you know how we're utilizing it and.
Yep.
You know, report results back.
So this essentially just gives you guys the permission to use that for funds for the software.
Yep, for their proprietary.
For their
software.
yep. Any questions, comments on this? We have a motion.
Oh, offer.
Mark, a second. Brent, thank you. Roll call vote, please, Andy.
Sure. Mark Waltrip,
Yes.
Matt Beck,
Yes.
Carol Shinnon.
Yes.
Amanda Rick is out, Lori Langert, Joey is out, Frank Pettiford. Yes. Motion passed.
Great, thank you. The next one is the Dollar General action item.
This
I
is
think there's a couple.
Yep, first one's the pilot. Video.
So, This one, we've already held the public hearing with respect to the sale of the property to Dollar General. This is just a deviation notice going out to the tax jurisdictions, and this is main reason this is a deviation of the fact that the town of Florida doesn't have their own tax, property tax, correct?
Correct.
So I think we did this in the last deal, it predates me, it has some to do with 2017, the last Dollar General deal. We set it up so the town would receive part of the pilot payment. And to do that, you have to have a deviation from your use, have you also get the consent with the tax jurisdiction hopefully down the road. So this just authorizes us to send a letter, which is a tax resolution today. We will send that out once Ken signs off on it. And or you folks can sign up for the matter, and that will go out to tax jurisdictions. We wait 30 days and we authorize the CD itself.
And keep in mind too, if you look in the tax letter, we're not deviating with regards to our standard tax exemption policy itself. The percentages will remain fixed. There's no deviation there. It's just the only deviation is the town of getting the town of Florida some property taxes out of this transaction.
This is in line with the policies that we've created, that if we're gonna do this, that we're gonna let the notification. So this was a change recently that we had.
And we'll, on this one, Chris, too, we'll just so you guys are aware, anytime we deviate, we made the policy that that we would ask for resolution sign off from the three affected tax jurisdictions. So our assistance would be Montgomery County, Plattsburgh Central School District, and the town of Florida.
Any questions or comments on this one?
No, thank you for the explanation.
Can we have a motion? Thanks, Carol. Second. Thank you, Mark. Roll call vote, please, Ian. This is 2219. You're welcome.
Carol Shannon,
Yeah.
Matt Beck,
Yes.
Mark Walter,
Yes.
Amanda Ricky is out, Lori Langer is out, Cheryl Reese is out, Brian Pettiford.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Sure. So the next one is related to the actual sale of the property to DG Distribution Northeast, which is in essence, Dollar General. So in accordance with the municipal law and local authorities law, we had an appraisal done of the property, which came in at $430,000. The purchase price is going to be $420,000, which is obviously in the ballpark. It's within reason. Because it's a disposition of property owned by the IDA, and it's above $100,000 for the sale price, we need to send out an explanatory statement, called a 90-day letter, which goes out to the governor, goes out to the legislature, the budget office, et cetera, et cetera. And so that went out on August 2nd. We need to wait 90 days for that period to lapse before we actually sell the property. I talked with Brandon Cottrell, my associate, who's handling all the real estate matters for the IDA. And he said it's actually like 120 days, 150 days, continued period in the contract already. No, not a real estate lawyer, but he said, but this actually works well, the energy period is already baked into that. So this just authorizes the actual sale of land by the IDA to Dollar General.
It's very clean. Any questions on that one?
Price breaker looks pretty good, Kenny, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's real good.
Do, in the 90 days, if we hear nothing, then that implies we're
Correct.
okay to proceed, right?
Okay, then you shouldn't expect your those, right? You would have to write a letter to say you're selling it to a, I don't even know.
Yeah. So this could be on our November agenda then, conceivably, right?
It probably will be, we'll do this, we'll have to do the public hearing, we're setting up for the end of September. So we have to hold a public hearing yet on this project. Dollar General and their engineers, last week submitted the site plan application to the town. So we won't take final action as far as approving the pilot and the lease-back transaction until the town of Florida Planning Board has approved the site plan and the seeker.
They're not gonna close on it. They're not gonna close on until everything's approved.
And it's gotta go to the county too.
Yeah, it'll come to the county too. So I'm
Okay, so-
anticipating December, January.
December,
They'll be
January.
through that process.
Okay.
Have they had any public hearings yet on this project in the town?
No, they haven't, Brett. Like I said, the first planning board meeting is next Monday, I think, where they're gonna first look at the applications. First time they looked at the application.
Okay.
Thank you. No other questions.
Great. Anyone else? If not, can we have a motion?
I'll offer it.
Thank you. Second.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call vote, please, Andy.
Mark Walter,
Yes?
Matt Beck,
Yes.
Cheryl Schumann.
Yes.
Amanda Piazza, Lori Langford, Cheryl Piazza, Brent Pettiford. Yeah. Motion.
Perfect. Thank you. The last one is resolution 2221. And this is authorizing the purchase of furniture and fixtures.
Correct. We, this is something we talked about at the, July, the July, at the July last IDA meeting. The county is, this is part of the purchase. The county's purchasing the rest of the furniture and stuff. So, this was, our share with regards to that. We're working through Hummel's, obviously, because they're able to, we did get quotes, quotes through the procurement policy. And we're utilizing Hummel because they're also going to set it up and put everything together for us as well. So this is, the resolution authorizes the acquisition for that. And then, within that resolution, you'll see that, what we're requesting is just an additional $3,000 because we're gonna need a new, monitor for the conference room as well. Okay. So that will be, we will be set, we won't be going back to you. Timing, as of right now, looks like, contractually substantially complete, supposed to be the end of January. Our section of the facility looks like if everything goes well, it'll be sometime in December. So we may be moving in quicker than we anticipated. Yeah, we're hoping to have I would like to have a January organizational meeting there. We also just want to let you guys know we're going to do some type of open house.
Is your desk like gold plated?
Toilet.
No, the toilet is.
He's got a chandelier.
Yeah. We have a chandelier, but there's no chandeliers in this.
Wait till his grand opening.
I got a bunch of those little Allen wrenches.
So, that's all I got, Chair.
Does a good job. They did several things.
Yeah, and it used to be silicon, over.
Curious how wide the spread was it on the quotes?
No, he did the other one.
The quotes were, they were comparable, but we did one through National Business Furniture and also Amazon, and they were both actually higher than Hummel's.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Good.
And Hummel's does set up.
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
Hummel's-
and they'll be here. We need them. Excellent.
So can we put parameters in here about that, like before you get your chair, it needs to go through us for approval, I want to see the specs. Is there anything
I
like
can show you
that? Perfect.
They're not heated or anything.
They're not
like that.
heated or, they're not
No massage, no
massage chair, you're getting
None of
that.
that. So
Right.
the threshold, so they have to-
Yeah, yeah, to keep it,
They're big enough too.
yeah, 120-inch TV. Late Monday night. Yeah. Any questions on this one?
No.
Great, can we get a sponsor for this resolution?
I will. Glad.
Thank you, a second. Awesome, roll call vote, please.
Mark Walter,
Yes.
Matt Beck.
Yes.
Cheryl Schumann.
Yes.
Amanda Piazza, Lori Langford, Cheryl Pettiford.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you. Any new business, Ken?
No, we don't have any. Just to let you guys know, just so you can put on your calendars, we will need our meeting. We'll have both a CRC meeting and an IDA meeting in October, along with a committee meeting. We're gonna have to do the annual budgets. For both organizations. So we definitely will be meeting in October.
I know I'm on the budget. Who else do you remember? on the
I
top?
don't know.
All right,
It's
we'll just
on-
make
it's on
sure
the
they
website,
get
But
it.
I'll remind.
Yeah,
We'll
we'll
remind, put out a reminder that he's on the committee, but obviously, Brett, your new committees are open to everybody. So we encourage everybody to come to committee meetings as well. So,
Great, anything else? Perfect. Can I get a motion for adjournment? Thank you, a second. I'll second. Mark, perfect. All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Meeting's adjourned.
Very good. You might be going along this way.